Hello, my name is Rahim Karim, and I'm here to tell you a story. And this story is Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little cottage at the edge of the forest. Little Red Riding Hood lived in the little cottage with her mother. Little Red Riding Hood had a beautiful bright red cloak. Beautiful. She felt so proud when she wore it. The mother was making Brussels sprout soup. And she handed it to Little Red Riding Hood, who had it in a basket. Take this to your grandma, okay? Okay, Mum, I will. But remember, the forest rules, eh? I will remember them, I will. Okay then, goodbye then. Bye. The wolf was waiting behind a tree, licking his lips. On the tree, there was a sign about the forest rules. The first rule was, stay on the path. Don't go off into the woods. And the second rule was don't talk to any wolves. Okay. Little Red Riding Hood started off on the path, and she saw the woodcutter. And the woodcutter was cutting down the trees. He saw Little Red Riding Hood. Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood. Good morning, woodcutter. Little Red Riding Hood passed on her way through the forest. It got deeper and deeper into the forest, and it got darker and darker and darker. And Little Red Riding Hood didn't realise that the wolf was lying down, waiting for Little Red Riding Hood, dreaming of eating her. Little Red Riding Hood came along and ended up stepping on the wolf's paw. Ow! And the wolf started up and then hit his head and ended up on top of Little Red Riding Hood. And some of the Brussels sprout soup spilled and went into the wolf's mouth. Bleh! That's disgusting. Brussels sprout soup. Bleh! I want to eat juicy red meat. That's my favourite. Bleh! Brussels sprout soup. I don't like that. Little Red Riding Hood said, what are you doing on the path? And the wolf said, what are you doing? What are you doing with that Brussels sprout soup? I'm going to give it to my grandma. Ah, grandma, eh? I know, I could wait and I could eat both Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood, both of them. Oh, Little Red Riding Hood, where does your grandma live? Oh, she lives in the little cottage that just over there, the other side of the forest. Ah. Okay then. And he ran as fast as he could to Grandma's house. And he tapped there. He thought, Grandma's in there. I'm going to eat Grandma up. And he tapped on the door. Tap, tap, tap. Grandma was laying in bed, reading a book with her glasses on. And she heard the tapping at the door. Come in. And the wolf ran in and gobbled Grandma up straight away, just like that. And he put on her hat, and he put on the glasses, and he pretended to read the book, lying in bed. Little Red Riding Hood, waiting for Little Red Riding Hood. And then the wolf heard a tap at the door. Ah, that'll be Little Red Riding Hood. Come in. Little Red Riding Hood came in, looked at Wolf, and then looked at Grandma, who he thought was Grandma. What big ears you have, Grandma. All the better to hear you with, Little Red Riding Hood. Ah, what big eyes you have, Grandma. All the better to see you with. What big teeth you have, Grandma. All the better to eat you with. And then he jumped up and he ate Little Red Riding Hood, just like that. And he had a great big full belly. Oh, that was delicious. I'm so tired, I think I'll go to sleep. And he fell into a deep sleep, started snoring. Now, the woodcutter was just passing by, and he could hear the snoring getting louder and louder, and he thought, what is that sound? So he went over to the cottage, and he could see through the window that a wolf was snoring in Grandma's bed. His eyes nearly fell out of his head. The wolf must have eaten Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood. Oh no, what shall I do? What shall I do? He opened the door and he crept in. And he looked in the drawer and he saw some scissors. He pulled out the scissors and didn't waste any time. And he got Grandma out of the... I want to get Grandma out of the wolf's belly. So he opened up the wolf's belly, and there was Grandma. He got Grandma out, and then he got Little Red Riding Hood out. And the woodcutter thought, oh. And Grandma was a bit like, oh, that was a lucky escape. Oh. Little Red Riding Hood disappeared because she ran off and she tried to find some stones. And she got this bag of stones and she put them in the wolf's stomach. And the woodcutter said, okay, I'll put them in the stomach. And he dropped them in the stomach and then he stitched him up again. And the wolf was still asleep all through this, and he woke up, thought, oh, that was delicious, my stomach's still full. He got out of bed, and as he moved, there was funny old rattling sound in his belly. What's that? What's that? And it was the noise of the stones clanking against each other. The wolf's like, why have you done? What's happened? What's happened? The wolf said, oh no, that noise means I can't creep up on people. I can't creep up on people. It means that people will know that I'm coming. And they will all be able to run away. I can't eat people because of what's in my belly. Oh, that's such a shame. Little Red Riding Hood and the woodcutter said, exactly, you can't eat any people anymore. You must eat what? Brussels sprout green soup. You have to eat that the rest of your days. And the wolf tried some. Oh, it made him feel sick. But he had to because he couldn't run after the people because of the stones in his belly. And Little Red Riding Hood went off and could just ignore the wolf from then on. Poor old wolf had to eat Brussels sprout soup.